Now, last week we were looking at the power of K-Wikis or wikis. Hopefully you've been down to visit www.k-wiki.com. We're going to put a lot more on there so we can share some of the best practice in terms of project management and management consultancy. So what is No Wow, the podcast, all about? Well, every week we pick a topic for about 2 to 3 minutes and we cover it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it and give us some feedback with regards to whether or not it's adding value to your daily life as a consultant or somebody who's actually learning about management today. Okay, I'm your host, Dr. Savi, and this week I thought I'd pick another topic on podcasting. Well, we've been talking about podcasting last week, but I thought I'd split the program into 2 parts. One which is slightly technical, and the other one which is more management and potential orientated. Okay, here's the first part. I thought I'd share with you what it takes to make a podcast. Well, there's something called an XML file. The XML file is also a schematic or a kind of schema, and that defines the way in which lots of software out there actually communicates and understands if there's a new piece of content available on your website. But there's also another part of podcasting that's quite important, and that is, how do you actually make the podcast? How do you make it really, really professional? Interesting story, a business one that came up recently, was a situation where a lady had a business which was about selling plants, and she decided with her 13-person company to actually develop a podcast to communicate with her customers about potential benefits of buying a particular plant or some issues that she may have in terms of growing certain plants. And lo and behold, she's now getting customers all the way from the US, and she's actually UK based. Now, the way that worked was that she bought about £300 worth of equipment, recorded a very high quality podcast, scripted it well, and made sure that all of her employees, that's all 13 of them, took part every week answering questions. So there you have it, a powerful mechanism to be able to communicate the value that your firm actually has. But when she spent £300, what did she do? Well, she had to buy some equipment known as a power mic. Now, we've got our little power mic here. We've got a few of these. Now, this is actually known as a Shure power mic. These are special cables. And I'll just show you one here. This is known as the AKG C3000B. Quite powerful, has a diaphragm in it. There's many quality microphones. They're probably about £150 or $150 each. They have to be wired up, and if you want to use a PC, you can do that, and you use something called an M-Audio USB device, which is actually an external sound card which allows you to use very professional studio quality equipment to do things. Now, sometimes when you look at a studio, you might find that they've actually got mic stands. Well, on top of mic stands, you also find a little piece of mesh. This is known as a pop filter, which makes sure that you don't actually get a lot of interference when you're actually communicating. That's the technical part. You need to install the right equipment, the right software, and a lot of this stuff actually comes with good software. There's some great software called Goldwave, which allows you to edit the file, allows you to put background music on. But you know what's also important from a technical perspective is to write the XML file correctly so that programs like iTunes can pick them up properly. Now, our company could probably help you with that, but if you want to do it on your own, you need to be careful about how you actually structure all of that, because it's a bit of a problem where you spend all your time actually developing the content, but no one can get access to it because the technology side is not actually quite right. The other thing to also think about is the fact that at the end of the day, when you've actually produced your content, how do you structure it? So this is where we come into the second part of the program. How do you actually structure it? Well, when you look at a lot of programs, what they might do is they may introduce the program. Now, we're talking about audio at the moment as a title. So you've actually got a title for the program. The second part of it will be about how to communicate the structure of the program. So if you look at a magazine, typically you might find a contents page. Each contents page has a heading, which is actually the main feature section. Take a look at a technology magazine, for example. It might say, here's an introduction from the editor. The next part is a particular feature about information technology. The next one is about, say, business communications. And the last one might be about technology in terms of hardware. So there you see 3 separate sections. So when you do your scripting, you need to make sure that the subject headings actually fit in to the right feature sections. Introductions are very important. Breaks are very important. Insertions of adverts are also important as well. Someone asked me the other day, is there any money in producing podcasts? Well, maybe the way to look at it is the way that we do. It's about communicating the knowledge that you have within the organization, but also considering it in terms of as an opportunity to share with your customers what you know, as well as potential opportunities to talk to people about the fact that there are great opportunities and great innovations out there. So I would say that podcasting should not be considered as a pure money-making venture, but as a communication medium, either to talk to your customers or even talk to your employees. Well, that's it for this week's No Wow magazine, and we hope to see you in episode 3.